This is John Slick. I am one of a handful of assistant baseball coaches at Augsburg College. I'm here with head coach Keith Bateman today, and we're talking some Augsburg baseball. We'll be bringing you updates throughout the year, and this is just episode number 1. So, Coach, explain to me, with the season a little bit, roughly a month away, what would be the most important part of practice early on here in February?
I think, John, the first thing is to get guys back into the rhythm. I think the fielding the ground balls, getting the swings in, just to get back into the rhythm of everyday baseball, build that routine. They've had a big break from the fall until now, so they kind of need to get back into that routine. And I think, the big thing is we'll hit on mechanics and that kind of stuff, but I think in my mind, the bigger thing is to get them into the routine, get excited about it, and working together defensively as a team.
Yeah. The big thing with baseball is it is all routine, and it's important for them to establish that early on so they get a good feel.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially we're pretty young. I mean, we brought in a decent sized freshman class this year, which we needed to based on the small numbers in our sophomore class. So those guys are going to have an adjustment period the first couple weeks of what it's like to really be a college baseball player and go 6 days a week as opposed to when we just had our couple workouts in the fall.
Yeah, that's for sure. And despite last season's tough MIAC record, is there anything you could take from that and maybe learn and bring into this season? Improve on any aspects of the game?
Well, I think number one, we got to take a look at how we a little bit of how we ran our pitchers. I don't know if we over prepared them to go out there or under prepared them. So I think we took a real hard look at at the way we ran our pitching staff last year. I'm excited about the plan that we have going into this year. I think it's going to be something that the guys will buy into, and not that we're going to change things necessarily, but you're right, you got to learn from it. It was a tough year. We made games competitive, but we were behind too soon. I think I set an NCAA record for mound visits in the first inning, and we just can't do that this year. So you learn that, and then you think, and I think the guys also, especially in the fall with their work ethic and such, really took that season personally, and I was happy with that, because sometimes as a coach you take stuff maybe more personally than the players do, but our guys really, it still bothers them to this day. So I think, on the mental side, we learned a lot. We grew a lot last year. We were competitive in games, even though we got down right away. But I think the biggest thing is we took a look at how we were running our pitching staff, and I'm excited about some of the changes we made in the fall and the mindset, going forward here into February.
Yeah, especially on a game that's based around failure. It's important to the ones who make adjustments, the teams that make adjustments, and the players that do. Those are the ones who keep improving, and hopefully, that can be the pitchers here can do that.
Yep.
Leading into this next question, with the MIAC being a tough D3 conference, could you explain the importance of scheduling a good non-conference schedule and the Arizona trip that leads up to the MIAC season?
Yeah, I think it's imperative to play good teams. We've always had competition that's been top teams in the nation to get us prepared for the MIAC. In our philosophy, I guess, it doesn't do a ton of good to see some pitchers that my guys are hitting real well, and then you get in the MIAC and you see some of the top pitchers, like you said, in the region, and then you have to adjust to that on the fly. So I think it's important with obviously with the Metrodome being back. I mean, that's a huge deal. I think we're one of a few teams in the MIAC that really relies on the Metrodome to get 8 to 10 games in there a year. There's some teams that'll maybe get 2 to 4, but we get quite a few games in there. So it's important to have that back. We're excited about that. We'll have 2 or 3 reserve games in there as well. I don't know how many programs schedule reserve games in there, but that's something that's important to us. So we'll have a ton of games in there, and then obviously going down to Arizona, again, we take the full roster, so we'll have reserve games down there on top of our varsity games, and it's playing good competition. That's what you want to play. You want to play the best. If you're going to be the best, you have to beat them. And so I'm excited about the schedule that we've put together and the teams that we're playing. And it gives our guys an opportunity to rise up to the level of our competition and surpass it. But I don't think you can play a bunch of teams that aren't as good. I mean, it's nice. You can always lose to those guys, right? I mean, there's nothing saying you're going to go out and beat everybody, but I like to see I like to see good competition.
Yeah, it makes for a good game to watch, good baseball game to watch for fans. Coach, with the BB Bats in their second year now, how is that gonna, with practice on the way, how would that change strategy of college baseball as a whole, D3 through D1, and how would that, knowing the information you know now, how would that change how you run a practice or things you might, instead of relying on the home run, maybe small ball now?
Yeah.
Could you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think last year we all had an idea that BB was coming in and that it was going to be 30 foot less of flight, this, that, and the other, but I don't think a lot of teams really believed it or adjusted to it very well. I know we as a team, we had a couple big guys that with Donnie Blunt was able to muscle some balls still out of the park, and we had a couple guys who were kind of used to hitting for power that didn't as much. I mean, they were getting maybe the doubles, but the ball wasn't flying out of the park. So I think that having a year of BB under everybody's belt, that you'll see the game kind of revert back to what it was really invented to be, and not so much a quote-unquote small ball game. I mean, that's baseball. Baseball is bunting, it's running bases, stealing bases. I mean, that's baseball. The small ball became a term, I think, when you had the gorilla ball era, where guys were hitting the jacks and everything, and then if you bunted, ran the bases, hit and run, you're a small ball team. But you're really a baseball team, and that's the game.
That's true.
And so I think that it's kind of changing some mindsets there, and some of our guys that we talked to about laying the bunt down more and using their legs a little bit more, at times would try it, went away from it, and suffered for it. So I think you'll see more, again, a better game played overall by everybody. I think you'll probably see more teams making those adjustments this year than last year, where I think teams last year heard that it wasn't going to maybe be the same, but didn't maybe believe it until you're halfway to 3/4 of the way through the season. And you're like, oh man, this really did affect things. So. And I think you'll see that all the way through. You watch good college baseball games when Texas plays. You have a lot of bunting, a lot of hit and runs. Vanderbilt moves the runners a lot. So some of your better teams have kind of always done that. But I think that it's more the players now are having that year under their belt. It'll be easier for them to buy into it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Coach. Well, good chat this morning.
Good job,
man. And we'll be bringing you in some more episodes of little Augsburg baseball throughout the year. This is just first of many.